And right now, teamless, if I'm not mistaken, the blue Protoss player from the Ukraine, it is Hellraiser.
Yes, it is. Always been an innovative player. Something pretty cool about Hellraiser is that when MaxPax was figuring out PvP and was really dominating the matchup behind the one-gate expansion plays, behind that Void Ray meta, playing it defensively, even on flat ground natural expansions. While he was doing that, Hellraiser was like the only Protoss player in the world that had a winning record against him. It was Hellraiser, and I actually think that's it. I think Hellraiser was legitimately like the only player who was beating MaxPax in PvP. So that's kind of a neat little footnote about Hellraiser. He's other than that, he kind of hasn't done too much in the last few months. So we'll see if he's got something prepared for this one. He's always been a very innovative player.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like his PvP would be pretty spot on then. And if he had been in Group D at this point, then, oof, that would have been great for him, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Group D, or even I think, is it Group?
Oh, Group B. Yeah,
Group B also
well
has 6 Protoss. Yeah.
Yep.
But that one's going to be a little bit trickier to pull a fast one on either of the Zerg players, especially when one of them is named Cyril. Whereas, maybe against Milky Cow, Hellraiser has some kind of cheeky shenanigans he can bust out. Now, player we haven't mentioned really yet is BattleB. I like to think of BattleB as kind of like a Hero Marine Jr. And there's a few reasons for that. One, I think of him as a very, solid player. He's also from Germany. And I feel like he's on a similar trajectory where he's got a lot of potential, but he hasn't quite figured it out yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of StarCraft 2 players, right? Which kind of keeps it interesting as well, because sometimes it just, again, it comes down to that pendulum of improvement. Like, sometimes people are just going to have an amazing tournament, and, yeah, well, these two definitely not the first picks on a lot of people their list, probably, but who knows, man?
Game.
Oh, another pass. A lot of passes today.
Yeah, you know what? I wonder if it's the exact same thing, because I think these might be fresh accounts from Blizzard, and the default for fresh accounts is that you cannot select enemy structures, and that pause came right after. Yep, there it is. He couldn't select enemy buildings. That pause came right after he saw / didn't see the robotics facility.
Yep.
So the brilliant decision making from Blizzard once again rears its head, and he turns it on. I believe he was going to be able there to click that robotics facility, figure out that it is in fact a robotics facility. Wow. Okay, the robo facility is a little weird, but it's not too crazy. But then the forge behind it is absolutely wild. Meanwhile, this adept is going to get killed off, and this is actually a huge problem for Hellraiser that he didn't kill any of these units, because this is a pretty big commitment right here from BattleB to early aggressive units. This has a lot of potential to get a lot done right here with only 2 gateway units on the field for Hellraiser.
Yeah, going for the full wall off, probably a smart choice. Has the shield battery on the way, definitely necessary. And that is going to be, he could consider cancelling the shield battery, but that could be nervous as well, right? Could make you nervous, really. Oh, what is this? There's even more.
This is
coming from.
Oh, if he can get that adapted before it gets to the shield battery, no, it will just barely survive. That was really crucial, because he is once again on a very small unit count, and this is enough Reapers to, if they sink their shots, they can one-shot probes. And in fact, they're gonna almost one-tap that adept. They just killed that so quickly. It was like 2 hexes away from the shield battery, and it still went down. Meanwhile, in the natural expansion, the shield battery is at the front. He can pop a grenade down, will be able to knock this away, but not out of range of the shield battery. And so far, Hellraiser is dealing with this about as well as you could ask.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's half the armor supply of BattleB, and he is holding on. He's going to be able to pick up this Stalker as well, put it back behind lines of the shield battery. It's getting a little bit low on energy there, but it's managing for the time being.
Yeah, both shield batteries are not full anymore. They've gotten a little bit depleted, but there's battery overcharge available. BattleB, I think, was really trying to bait it on one of the bases and then commit hard to the other one. Obviously, you could only commit so hard to the main base, but if he could have baited it at the natural, could have maybe gotten a lot done. Now, behind us, what do you think of the Colossus drop? I myself am a big Colossus drop enjoyer.
Yeah, it could be pretty good, but I'm also seeing Vikings on the production tab here, or at least one of them. And, well, you could get lucky, or you could get a little bit unlucky here with for both these players, I suppose.
Yeah, with the Warp Prism speed, Hellraiser should be able to, as long as he's quick on the reaction time, should be able to avoid running this into anything. But it is going to be difficult to actually find damage with this. Now, Hellraiser is not building any more workers. He's actually just going for more gateways for +1 for charge. This could turn into a 2-base all-in behind us.
Be careful with that Raven nearby as well.
Yeah, you certainly do.
That's 4 SCVs.
That's pretty nice. That's decent considering that a missile turret and a Viking were built as a kind of response to this. Now, yeah, this really feels like it's going to be a massive commitment coming in here from Hellraiser. He's getting up to a total of 6 gateways right now. He's going to have, like I said, charge +1, extended thermal lance. I think he's just going to go with 3 Colossus and a bunch of charge lots and just see what happens. Oh
no!
Oh yeah.
That's a shame. That is, yeah. Oh,
That was so unnecessary.
it really was.
And
I wanted to praise him for trying to be that active with the drop as well, you know, pick off 1 or 2 extra Marines maybe, but then he loses the Colossus. Yeah.
That takes
That's
so
rough.
much power out of his push.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if he still wanted to try to go for a push from there.
I don't think so. I think it's a bad idea. And now that shield battery is out of energy, 4 probes do go down to this little Reaper run by. It will get cleaned up now, but this has allowed BattleB to take up a great position with tanks at the natural expansion. This is a lot of charge lots, though. So you do have to be careful as BattleB, but I mean, as long as the Widowmines burrow on up and are prepared, you know, to deal with this could be pretty difficult for Hellraiser to break out of. Ooh, but as I say that, Warp Prism on the other side of the map, a lot of SCVs already going down, and that might force the issue for BattleB. He might feel like he needs to get something done. The thing is, there's no reason for him to try and bust into his opponent's natural at this point.
Yeah. Well, this is quite a bit of trouble, actually, especially with that Warp Prism having speed. It is able to just kind of ping-pong back and forth between these 2 locations.
Now,
I still feel like he has a bit of a pushing potential, though, right? With that Raven there, it's full energy at the moment. Oh, that's definitely Warp Prism.
nice. Great target fire right there on that Warp Prism. But he's lost so many SCVs during all this, and even though his 3rd command center is finishing up, he's on now half the worker count of his opponent. We are going to see Hellraiser trying to force the issue. Nice interference matrices on those 2 Colossi, but the 3rd one, plus the Zealots on top of tanks, will spell disaster for BattleB. The engagement gets cleaned up, while the army gets cleaned up, and now Hellraiser, he's in a phenomenal position behind this. He's done enough damage. He can just expand, yeah, and wise decision. He does not need to go for the kill anymore.
Yep. BattleB kind of wise as well, backing up with that 3rd base, right? Realizing, okay, I'm just not in a position to be able to hold this. Moves back up to the high ground, and hopefully this little ledge here is going to be enough with the bunker to keep him stable for the time being.
Yeah, I want to see right now Hellraiser just kind of staying at range. Actually, yeah, with these Vikings, you might even have to back off. No blink to really keep them safe. I think that's a great decision, actually, to go home. He's so far ahead. He's up over 20 workers right now. This is a gigantic lead, I think, for Hellraiser. And there's no reason to really throw it away by getting overly aggressive. What I was going to say if the Viking count wasn't already at 3 is that I would have loved to have seen him just kind of stay at range with the Colossus and abuse the fact that he really outranges his opponent. But with those Vikings there, yeah, no reason to overcommit. He's got Blink. He's got +1 on the way. Now, with a huge bank, he's going to be able to get into a lot of Archons. And I wouldn't even mind to see him just just go again. You know, maybe build 2 or even 4 more gateways and just go with like 3 or 4 Archons and the Colossus he's got and try and end the game.
Yeah, I think that could be alright. Like, he has 2 kind of opportunities here, right? He could try to just start going for another attack, or he could try to just make it difficult for BattleB to get his expansions rolling. If BattleB stays on 2 base, Hellraiser might even go up to 4 base in the near future. He has the resources for it, that's for sure. And just really lay in thick on that initial just economic advantage he has achieved here, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty huge lead. It's not as bad as it was a couple of moments ago, and that's a pretty decent-sized Artosis pylon right there. 2 gateways and the robotics facility. Not what she wants. Yeah, big whoops. And that's actually really unfortunate because he actually had an observer here spot this drop, and he did not get units in position in time. So a little bit of a lapse in the multitasking right there from Hellraiser did cost him a little bit, and it looks like he even accidentally pulled a couple of probes from the natural. I think while dealing with this, maybe he might have like looked at it from this perspective and accidentally grabbed the ones on the gas with like a control click or something. One of the many things you have to watch out for when you're looking at specifically this map. Waterfall is a little bit funky in that regard.
Again, that Warp Prism speed coming into play, really trying to make the utmost use of that. Okay, gets an interference matrix used as well.
Yeah, baiting that out is pretty huge because there was actually 2 available right there. Now there's only the 1. This is going to be rough if Hellraiser decides to commit in. But it looks like with the death of that War Prism, which that missile turret did contribute to, as well as the Vikings that were popping out, with the death of that War Prism, Hellraiser doesn't want to just attack on one front, and I don't blame him.
Yeah. I mean, BattleB has secured this 3rd base now, however, and the 4th base of Hellraiser just wasn't quite as early as it perhaps could have been. So, I don't know if he's really coasting through with his advantage as much as he perhaps could have.
I think...
yeah, I feel like BattleB might be starting to get a bit more of, you know, the odds to take this one again.
Yeah.
Well, he's not ahead, but you know what I mean, you know?
Yeah, he certainly has a fighting chance now. Yeah. And I think actually coasting is the perfect word to describe it. He kind of, when you go for those Archons, with how powerful Ghosts are in this matchup, it's really not great if you can't do anything with them. Like if they are so expensive in terms of gas, and they really do melt when the Ghosts hit the field if those EMPs land decently. Now, we're not at that point yet where it's a big Ghost count. In fact, the first Ghost is just now on the way, second one fired up now. But they are kind of running thin on that timer, and now he's actually up to 5 Archons. So, like, you really do want to get something done with those Archons if you're going to commit to them.
Yeah, for sure. And, well, he still has a bit of an opportunity here. He's about to hit that max supply. He's starting to get a bit uppity with his army movements, looking for some opportunities perhaps. Avoiding the radius of the sensor tower for the time being. That's a scary defense, man. That is a terrifying sight.
It's a lot of well set up units, yeah.
Yeah. This looks more doable.
Yeah, if he can just get up into the natural, though, and find those Ghosts before they can get their EMPs, that would be huge. Unfortunately, that's about the worst-case scenario, is he just runs a couple of Zealots into, like, 3 Ghosts in a bunker. And Hellraiser's going to look at that and apparently decide that there's nothing he can do here. Meanwhile, BattleB coming across the map with a nice triple drop. If he can slip in here and snipe this base, I think I would actually say that puts him in the lead here. Oh, well, it will be a instant kill on at that 4th. The army is coming back very quickly here from Hellraiser. He actually blinked forward already to try and jump on this. BattleB really tunneling this. Battery overcharge is going to get popped. It's going to be so close, but he gets the base. That's 3 full medevacs, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big trade for that one. It's going to be worth it.
As long as he doesn't lose the game right now, I think it's okay. Because he did just kill the War Prism. Another one. That's like the 3rd. Yeah, that's the 3rd War Prism that has died in this game. And Hellraiser gets knocked back down to 3 bases. Once again, his army has a lot of these. It's got 20 supply of Archons that are just not that effective. Now, it's super important.
3 ghosts, though.
That's a good point, yeah. It is an upgrade advantage here. Disruptor Shot does get Interference Matrix. Great stuff from BattleB right there. Hellraiser was really relying on that Disruptor Shot, getting a lot done, and with that getting disabled, he's able to hold once again. It is 8 SCVs going down, and there's still a 2-2 versus 1-1 timing window. But it is quickly closing. Huge EMPs on those Archons. And just like that, okay, a little sloppy right there, but overall, still a good defense. Hellraiser is still way ahead in supply, but 2-2 is looming for the Terran.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just looks so strong on top of this hill. This third base just won't crack, and it has a pretty good kind of attack path for the natural as well, so kind of defended by proxy.
Now, the one thing I'm worried about is that BattleB's economy, he has not been rebuilding SCVs, and he is actually so far down in workers at this point. Hellraiser double expanded behind this, so he's going to be able to take advantage of that massive worker lead that he's got. He does still need to be a little bit careful, but as long as he is methodical with his disruptors, I think it should still be okay for him.
Yeah. I would like to see BattleB fly his main base. Maybe he already would have done it. You know, to that base that's quite close to the 3 o'clock.
I like that Hellraiser, that BattleB is just going for it now. Oh my god, that anti-armor is hitting home in a huge way. And I think that's going to force... Oh man, BattleB, he needs to go. He needs to go right now. Hellraiser is going to come in with the Zealot run-by that was set up, but BattleB should be going after that 5th base. I think it's a free base kill pretty much. If he had just gotten in on top, well, I mean, he's going to get it regardless, so that's pretty good. 21 SCVs though, oh my god, that's... Yeah. Yeah, BattleB, he has this army and that's it.
He's got to make it work. Can he do it? And he comes. The stim forward is pretty big. That's the disruptor shot.
I mean, that's still, yeah. BattleB,
that still hurts.
It felt like we could see that he had an army that was competitive, but it felt like Hellraiser was just nipping in at him for so long. It almost felt like he gave up at the end there. Like he didn't even attempt to either target fire or get out of the way of that disruptor shot. Great stuff right there from Hellraiser, like just tenaciously staying after his opponent. BattleB did some really nice stuff to stay alive in that game, but he wasn't able to keep his economy intact enough to really drag that one out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. It was a nice play from Hellraiser with the speed warp prism, right? Just kind of utilizing it as early as he could with the Colossus, even though he lost the Colossus, of course. Let's just forget about that for the time being. But then afterwards, just coming back over and over again with that warp prism, just getting the fullest utility out of that early upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nice.
It's exactly. It's... even though like it kept getting kind of dealt with, it was still nice stuff from Hellraiser, and he was really chipping away at BattleB. Yeah. And BattleB, it felt as though he felt trapped, and that's. Yeah. I feel like more so than anything, that was experience of Hellraiser and like confidence kind of winning that game. So, well done by Hellraisers. We see spawning down in the bottom left for Berserker Esports. Going to try and even the series at 1 apiece. It is BattleB.
Okay, his opponent's in a pretty good seat right now. It's the Blue Protoss. And teamless at the moment, Hellraiser.
Yeah, that's it's so interesting the way that game played out, because it felt like Hellraiser was almost too timid with some of his units, but he was always doing things that made it okay for him to not attack, despite having an army that doesn't necessarily scale as well as you would like it to. And then, yeah, he just kept getting this massive damage with those zealots in there. It was pretty impressive.
Yep. Yeah, very enjoyable. I'm curious to see whether or not BattleB is going to go as aggressive with those Hellions and Reapers initially this time as well. We're not seeing a second gas just quite yet.
I think I would have preferred to see him be a lot more aggressive with him in the first game, considering the fact that he committed to so many of them. 5 Reapers and 3 Hellions really slows down your tech a lot as the Terran player. So if you're gonna go for that, like, you better go for it, you know? Like, you better really commit. And he honestly didn't do so as hard as I would have liked to have seen. And I actually feel like, especially at the natural expansion, when that shield battery wall was set up, or rather, no, before the shield battery was finished at the natural, after he'd killed the Adept, I feel like he could have gotten a lot of damage done.
Yeah. Yeah, possibly. And I feel like as well, as if you're that committed with the 3 Hellions and they don't manage to get into the front door because, well, Hellraiser played it quite nicely, re-walled off entirely, and then had the Stalker there in place at all times, even building the pylon for the grenade of the Reaper, of course. It's just, yeah. Maybe even then transitioning it into a medevac to try and get the Hellions into the main base, perhaps something like that, right, with the Reapers to kind of follow it up. And like you said, really commit to that aggression. If you're already that, you know, neck deep into trying to get something to happen there, maybe it's just best to just fully commit into it.
Yeah, I actually really like that as a play. I think it's a strong and effective play when you go for that.
Yep.
You don't want to do it every game because then your opponent will anticipate it. They'll start really expecting it, and they'll be able to have units in position to really shut that down, and then your tech is extremely delayed. But I think in a situation like that, it would have been a great move. I think it would have been an awesome move. We are going to be seeing, by the way, another robotics facility out of Hellraiser. And even though that first Colossus drop didn't go well, if he goes for it again, I wouldn't even mind. BattleB did something interesting, by the way, in this game. He did a 1-Rax expand into a delayed Reaper after the reactor, so he is still wanting to go for that scout. And he's going to figure out that, okay, my opponent's doing something pretty similar to what they did last game. And that's great information. That's important information.
Yeah. Yeah, and could always throw you off as well, right? Sometimes that you just you get your mindset and like, oh, I guess they're doing this then. And
yeah.
If there are any curveballs here, I don't think there's too many curveballs here actually. Is that going to be another speed Warprism? Oh, I hope so.
I do believe so. I do think it is going to be that. That's a neat idea. Ooh, BattleB. He's going to make a little adjustment right here. He's going to go for a fast 3rd command center in response to this. And I think that's a neat idea as long as he gets a Viking here. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Yeah, this is a great way to try and take advantage of what is going to be a pretty heavy tech build off 2 bases. Now, if Hellraiser does decide to go for a big, let's say, charge lot Colossus timing like he went for in game number 1, I wonder if BattleB would be able to get enough out to deal with it after going for this 3rd CC. I think so, but I'm interested to see how this might clash against one another, these 2 plays. Oh, never mind. It's all a moot point because Hellraiser sees the 3rd command center. He's gonna throw down his 3rd Nexus.
Yep. Extend the thermal lance as well instead of the Warprism speed. So
I love these adjustments actually from Hellraiser. He gets the extended thermal lance. He gets a double forge upgrade. He knows based on his opponent's 3rd command center timing. Oh, does lose the observer. So nice snipe right there from BattleB. But he knows based on the 3rd command center that it's going to be pretty heavy macro play. And while he doesn't see the double engineering bay in the natural, he can infer that there's a good chance that it's going to be something like this. So I actually really love the responsive gameplay from Hellraiser.
yeah, and we'll have to see whether or not BattleB is going to be able to kind of adjust for that as well. And it's getting the +1/+1. 2 more barracks. Is that his 4th and 5th? Yes. All right, yeah, all on time, all in well. Might just slow down a little bit here, huh?
Yeah,
as long as the Widowmines don't really get anything going.
And they shouldn't be able to... I mean, there's even a cannon coming down in the main mineral line here. Hellraiser would basically just need to not ignore this drop completely. He should be fine dealing with it. But BattleB, I mean, his economy is still in a good spot. Like, Hellraiser did still commit to a lot of tech on 2 bases before, you know, taking that 3rd Nexus. Still, I think this is going to go into a pretty heavy macro game from here. We'll see. Obviously, there's the potential of either one of them committing hard to a 1-1 timing, but it would be kind of an anti-timing for both of them since they'll both have the 1-1. It's like fine, but you don't get any distinct advantage, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious how much they know about their engineering base and Forges as well. Actually, double check.
I actually don't think either of them knows that the other player is going for it, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly. No, he knows there's a double forge actually. BattleB knows there's a double forge here for Hellraiser.
Ooh, that's big.
Yeah. So he kind of knows that playing fields will be the way it is. Maybe Hellraiser will still overstep or understep at some point because of it, but we'll see. Actually, both of them really positioning their potential harassment tools right now, and especially the War Prism coming in at a very opportune timing. Most of BattleB's army vacating the area.
Nice pull right there on those SCVs, kind of bumbling up the AI just a little bit. They were on a move command. Going to be able to deal with this with relatively minimal losses, but this is where things get scary. However, on the other side of the map, we got BattleB with a double drop into the main base. Is going to be able to get a few probes, and he'll be forced back. Wasn't really wanting to commit with the other army, so he was going to be forced away regardless. However, the supplies just absolutely split apart there. Hellraiser falling very far down in supply relative to BattleB.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, where did this happen actually? Was that so efficient? And apparently it was. The Zealots not getting anything done, it seems like, and now... well, Hellraiser still has a 4th base coming up. That should help him out, perhaps. But it's also another target on his back that BattleB could try to stim some units into. And what's that on the top of the map? How many manufacturers that? Is that 2? Oh, that is unlucky.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate right there. Yeah, still 12 Marines left over. Looks like a lot of them very bruised up. He might just decide to drop here and, yeah, heal up the Marines so that if he does drop back in, you know, he's able to still get something done with this, because obviously, you know, it's not the most helpful. Oh, no, looks like he's actually just going to try and move in on it to this 3rd base while moving through the middle of the map. Oh, that scan missed the observer by like 2 hexes.
All of these players getting the pretty cool scouts here.
Yeah, very funny the way that it's worked out. The War Prism, of course, going to just kind of hang out on the left side of the map, let his shield regenerate. BattleB could push into a bit of an anti-timing here. 2-2 is going to complete quite a bit faster here, full Hellraiser. But looks like BattleB is just kind of posturing, not going to be committing too heavily. Now, Hellraiser's a little bit out of position to deal with this. Okay, BattleB scans, sees that the army is not there, and then very quickly it is. So I think Hellraiser actually... does he have other... no, yeah, there's no other vision. He saw the scan, and he's like, I know you're going to move in. So wise move right there from Hellraiser to kind of anticipate that, using your opponent's information against you.
Okay, I was looking at the other patch of red there on the top side of the map. That is coming in right now as well. Oh my goodness! Oh, that is a salty end to one of those Marines. My goodness, those targets were there instantly. Right. Well, that handled as well. It's just still a tight game, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
Supplies incredibly close. Worker count dead even. Yeah, I guess that's a bit better for the Terran.
It is in general, but Hellraiser, okay, he was initially able to kind of force or get these units up the ramp in time, but the Colossus were not there, so he gets forced back. Doesn't want to kind of funnel the rest of his high-tech value units through this choke. He decides to just kind of retreat on out and let BattleB chill. Now, this is a little bit of a misstep, I think, with his sensor tower placement. It actually blocks the bunker from being repaired. The wall is nice with the supply depots, but I think you want to have all supply depots here. and then you just, you know, you lower them as you need to repair. It's not a big deal, but it's you know, it's one of those things that can be impactful later on. For now, we are going to see a pretty big engagement breaking out in the middle. Hellraiser's been very diligent with his chrono boost on these upgrades, so he's taken actually a big lead.
No, not gonna get much done either.
No, not.
They're on top of everything here. Like, they're trying so much, but it's like either a Widow Mine or like suddenly the surface batting on getting scouted, and they're aware of what they're doing. Up until this point, really, where they decide, you know what, it's time to pull the trigger. I'm done with this. Going across the map, both of them, and Rampage is unleashed.
Oh
my goodness. Yeah, that is terrifying. Oh my.
That almost got 3 almost full energy ghosts right there. So that was very fortunate. Ooh, +3 weapons. Can he deny it? No, that will complete. Meanwhile, I think 3-3 for BattleB is absolutely no chance, no shot right here. As long as Hellraiser doesn't just ignore those engineering bays, which he potentially could. Both players are going to lose like all of their production. There is a fair amount of bio in the main base here for BattleB, but Hellraiser is going to be able to trap it and pick it off. These Colossus are going to feast. Oh man, those units all caught in the choke.
I like Hellraiser specifically. Well, I already liked it a bit better. Now it's 60 supply ahead, so it becomes a little bit less of a distinct opinion. But I mean, he's got that base in the bottom right, also still going. He's mining still here. You can put up a couple of gateways, get a couple of extra zealots out as reinforcements for stalkers. Production for BattleB is completely out of it, and he still has the disruptors to worry about.
He does, and it's just a matter of time until a recall comes in and brings the majority of this army back home. And Hellraiser, once he does that, he can pretty much destroy this entire army. Now, he's got to be a little bit careful. EMPs are going to come on in. He needed a recall a little bit earlier, and he's not going to do it. BattleB, though, does he even actually have the units to deal with this? It looks like the answer is no, even against half the army of his opponent. Oh man, the static defenses of Hellraiser really standing strong right there. And there's the Viking land, but it's not going to be enough. Hellraiser is going to manage to out-strategize his opponent.